Hey guys! A lot of you may already know, but recently I have accepted a position with a company and I'm excited but very nervous. So I definitely wanted to spend this time to quickly just tell you about my experience of how I got the job, what led to it, and what exactly I'll be doing and who I'll be working for. So if you didn't know, I left my job in August of 2018. I wasn't doing anything spectacular. I was a sales lead in retail, and I was part-time. I wasn't like doing anything crazy, but I wasn't fulfilled. I didn't feel like I was really doing what I wanted to do, and the money wasn't there. So 4 months in, I had decided to leave, and I didn't have a plan. I didn't save any extra money. I just knew that I wanted to run my business full time. I didn't want to have to like clock in or clock out or just work for anybody else, because I knew that I had been doing my thing for a long time, and I just felt like it was time for me to pursue my career. So I don't regret leaving, because my leap of faith into my full-time business was amazing. It led to so many opportunities. It led to so many new connections, so many new clients, and it was just an experience that I can't really explain in words. It definitely wasn't easy, but it was something that I couldn't have done if I didn't leave my job. So I don't regret leaving at all. But I do regret planning, because I didn't plan. It got to a point where just recently that I had bills that were due and I couldn't pay them. Money was low. January is a rough month for a lot of businesses, and it was bad. And thankfully, God kind of guided me in a different direction that I had no idea was coming. I didn't plan on getting a job, but I knew that 2020 was a year of change for me, and I knew that I had to do something in order to get where I needed to be. So let's rewind back to December of 2019. I had started applying for jobs, jobs that were in my industry, the fashion industry, and jobs that I felt as though would skyrocket my career, financially, and just the experience would help me to get to where I needed to go. So I started applying, didn't really hear too much back until January. Now we're in 2020. So January 3rd, I got an email from the job that one of the jobs that I had applied to. And it had basically said the qualifications of the job and what it entailed, and if I wanted to set up an interview, to email them back with my availability. So I did. I was ecstatic. I'm like, oh yeah, like this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. And I didn't hear anything back. Weeks had passed, and it's not that I was waiting. I had just forgotten about it. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't really worried about it at all, until it got to a point where bills were due. So I knew that, something had to change. So for some reason, I got the idea to reach back out to that company who reached out to me. But instead of emailing them, I decided to give them a call. There was a number in the signature, and the woman who emailed me, her name was Emma, and I called her, and she answered, and it was great. I'm glad you called me. Thanks so much. And she just started interviewing me like randomly. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit, but I was prepared. I talked about my experience, my journey, what I had been through, in business, and why I'm the best fit for the position. And she agreed. She felt like I had great experience and that I would be the perfect person to be working for this company and doing what they're asking me to do. So the next steps was to do an assessment. So she emailed me the assessment, basically told me to take it. It would take about 30 minutes of my time, and that I had to pass the assessment in order to get to the next step. So all of these things were happening from just off of one phone call, and it was happening so quickly. So I took the assessment. It actually took me less time than what I expected and was kind of easy. Emailed her back, let her know that I completed it, and I think maybe a couple of hours later, or maybe even a day later, she reached out to me and told me that I had passed the assessment. So I'm like, all right, cool, on to the next one. So when she had called me to let me know that I had passed the assessment, she mentioned that, you know, the next steps are an interview prep and then, of course, the actual interview. Both are taking place in Arlington, Virginia. Now, if you live in Baltimore and you know where Arlington, Virginia is, then you know that crap is far. It's past DC. So, and I knew what I was signing up for. When I saw the position, I saw that it was located in Arlington, but I also saw that it was virtual. So I wasn't quite sure what to expect. So I'm like, okay, not a problem. So that following Monday, I made my way to the prep interview. And it went well. About 30 minutes of my time after a 2-hour drive. About 30 minutes of my time was taken up to do the prep interview. And she was basically prepping me for what to expect, what not to expect, what questions to ask, and things like that. So I was confident. I knew I had this interview in the bag. Like, I'm good at interviewing. Like, it's not a problem. So maybe a day later, I went in for the actual interview. And I was being interviewed by 3 different people. They all worked for the company, all had 3 different positions. And one of them was a guy, 2 of them were women. And I was excited. Like, I went in confident, told them what I did, told them my experience, why I'm the best fit. And they started asking me questions about the company, asking me like some weird questions too that I didn't really understand what they were asking, but I answered them the best way possible. So I will say that my confidence level going in was a 10, and it kind of like went down to maybe like a 6 or a 5 the longer I was in there. And I didn't feel good after leaving the interview. I didn't feel like I did my best, but we're always our own worst critic. So I just said, you know, if it's meant for me to have the position, they'll call me back. So they let me know that they would give me a call between that evening and the following day if I got the job. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I think I got home. The interview was at 1:30. I think I got home at about maybe 3:30ish. And around 5 o'clock, I got the call. And she told me, you know, thanks for coming in. We love what you do and what you have to offer, and we want to offer you the position. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I knew I did okay. I didn't do bad, but I felt like I could have done a lot better. So it definitely took me for a shock, but I was excited. I immediately thought, oh shit, like, I gotta go to Arlington. The good thing about it is the training in Arlington is only for 4 months, so it's temporary. After that, I'll be full-time in the business remote. Like, remote. I could work from anywhere, from home, from the basement, from my office, from the car, wherever. So it's definitely going to be rewarding after this 4 months, but just going through it is going to be a challenge within itself. But other than that, I'm extremely excited to, 1, not just have money in my pocket, but 2, for a change, something different. And doing something that's in my field, but for someone else. So starting March 3rd, I will be the online fashion stylist for Amazon. And I'm happy because I had no idea this was happening. I had no idea this was coming. Like, it literally like happened so quick. And I was telling myself, you know, I definitely don't mind going back to work, but I just want to make sure that I'm doing something that is within my industry and that just makes sense for me. Like, I don't want to be doing anything random just to make ends meet. Like, I'm not that person. I've done it before. I've had 4 and 5 jobs at a time, and it just wasn't working. So I'm excited because it's something new, like I said, and this time around it's just going to be a lot different. My other jobs, you know, they were great experiences, and God was with me, but the relationship that I have with God now is not the same as it was before. So to go through a job again and have a completely different mindset than what I had before is gonna be like crazy. So I'm just excited to really see where this leads, where this goes. My businesses aren't stopping. I'm still taking clients, still doing events, still doing what I need to do to just show up in all of my businesses. But it will be hard, it will be challenging. But hopefully you guys can help me out and keep me accountable. And I will do my best to keep you guys updated on this journey. And I will see you in the next video.